It's the World Cup showdown from South America. Will it be Brazil or Chile who reach the finals in Italy next year? Level on points, Brazil have a better goal difference and need now only a draw to go through. The flamboyant Brazilians are in cracking form. Careca 4 times over against the Venezuelans. But anything Brazil can do from free kicks, so can Chile's Aravena. They're not exactly on the best of terms, these teams. All this was before the kickoff in the 1-1 draw in Santiago. Romario pushed his luck too far, and off he went. Chile lost a man too, not that Ormeño was too keen to go. A controversial and dramatic night. This was Brazil's bizarre opener, courtesy of Gonzalez. Chile thought they'd equalised. Maybe they did. Not according to the referee, though. At least he was more obliging near the end. Goalkeeper Tafarel's concentration wandered. Chile's didn't. Basse gleefully scored to make it 1 apiece. Hold on to your seats. It's Brazil against Chile on Screen Sport, the European Sports Network. Good evening to you from Peter Brackley. This is the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro, and I think we can safely promise you a night to remember. 160,000 fanatical supporters estimated to be in the ground. The atmosphere is absolutely pulsating, and no true Brazilian fan will be even contemplating the possibility that Brazil won't go on to maintain their proud record of having featured in the final stages of every World Cup competition, the only nation to have done so. They only need to draw then against Chile, but after that wild, unsavoury night in Santiago, well, who could safely predict what might happen this time? Incidents during and around that first meeting prompted FIFA to force Chile to play their home game against Venezuela 200 miles away in Mendoza, Argentina. They came through 5-0, but they needed 8 to overhaul Brazil's goal difference, so it's left Chile with the unenviable task of needing to beat Brazil now to squeeze them out for a place in the World Cup finals in Italy in 1990. Well, that is the scenario then, and joining me in the commentary box is Don Howe. We'll just look first on the England coach, of course, Don Howe, breaking away from preparations with the England party for their World Cup game in Sweden, but just looking there at the results so far, Venezuela beaten 3-1 by Chile, then the 1-1 draw, Chile against Brazil. Chile beating Venezuela by 5-0. Brazil 4-0 in the away game in Caracas, the 1-1 draw, and then 6-0, and a very comprehensive win it was too against Venezuela. So, Don Howe, it's a mouth-watering prospect, this one.
Yes, it looks a very exciting game. I mean, obviously, Brazil are favourites to go through. I mean, all they've got to do is get a draw out of this. Having said that, at least Chile have got their own game plan. They know they've got to go there and they've got to win, else there's no World Cup for them. The Brazilians are in this situation where a draw will do, but you're not going to hang on from the draw. Brazil don't play that way anyway, so I think they're going to be pushing forward, hoping to puncture holes in the Chilean defence, which is not going to be easy because Astengo and Gonzalez in the Chilean defence are first-class centre-backs. It looks that part of the game, the Bebeto Careca and the Astengo Gonzalez kind of competition is going to be an exciting one in itself.
Well, it has the makings of a very explosive night too. I don't think the manager, Manzaroni, has helped too much, Don, by suggesting that it's going to be a war out there, the Brazilian coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what in context he said that. I mean, as it comes across to us, it looks as though it's the wrong thing to do. And there's the referee there, and obviously he's going to play an important part in this game. And obviously, he knows all what happened in the first game, so he's going to get on top of the job to make it into a good football game.
It's Brazil then, who have just kicked off. They're attacking the goal to our left. No team news has come through to us as yet, but we'll fill you in as soon as we have those details. The Brazilians, I think, are fielding the same side that thrashed Venezuela, and I wouldn't think that Chile have made too many changes either. The Brazilians with Mauro Galvão as the sweeper at the back, and they have Correca up front with Bebeto, with Romario out of the side. He, of course, was sent off in that first meeting with Chile. And this is Roberto Rojas, the Chilean goalkeeper, and he's going to be an important figure tonight. He's one of the top goalkeepers in the world. He may well need to be in this volatile atmosphere.
You can see there straight away, Peter, that the Brazilians have gone back into their own half, and they're going to kind of group back in their own half and say to the Chileans, hey, you're going to have to come and beat us today, so you come and get through us.
The two Ricardos are the markers, the central defenders at the back. Ricardo, the captain, Ricardo Roca, alongside him. This is Valdo, who's been outstanding in these group matches, and indeed was too in the South American Championships. Little handball there by Silas. Number 6 there, Ricardo, captain of Brazil. I wonder if he is going to lead them through to the finals next year. It would be unthinkable that Brazil don't make it.
Well, they're inviting the Chileans to come forward. The Brazilians are sitting back, hoping the Chileans will come forward. They're not going to go and compete around the Chilean box, hoping they'll leave holes in behind so they can get balls in there and get players into that space.
Mauro Galvão. Dunga. Lovely turn then by Valdo. Such an influential player in midfield, Valdo, as indeed he was for Benfica in Portugal, helping them to the Portuguese Championship. So many of the Brazilians now playing their club football abroad, so it's gaining them invaluable experience of European styles, which of course they'll need if they do make it to Italy. Valdo. There's another chance. Great, around the stadium.
Well, in the previous games, Peter, the best play's always been down the Brazilian right-hand side. Jorginho and players like that and Valdo have made great runs. And then they've got on the end of it from the opposite side. Branco comes on the end of a lot of these crosses from the right wing.
Correca, once rather inaccurate with his shooting, but he was certainly on top form against Venezuela with those 4 goals. And it's remarkable, really, John, that he's not actually first choice when Romario is fit. He plays with Bebeto.
Yes, and yet I think that Correca and Bebeto are a better partnership. The reason I say that is Romario is a very static player, and he's not that good in the air. And Correca is super in the air, as we've seen in the previous games. And Bebeto, with his mobility to run to the flanks and create holes for Valdo and Silas and players from midfield, I think they're a better pairing.
Romario not in the starting lineup. The suspension may well be over, but perhaps they thought twice about putting him into this potentially explosive situation after what happened in Santiago. Through to Chile. And just to recap once again, they have to win this game if they're to deny Brazil a place in the World Cup finals. Isis with the long ball pumped forward rather aimlessly and ambitiously. Jorginho for Brazil. Mauro Galvão. They certainly did seem keened up for the game, Don, beforehand. We're watching the Chilean players singing their national anthem with...
Yes, it was very impressive that, you know, you could see the attitude to go into the battle. It was definitely there.
And the battle it is going to be. Already we have an injury. Let's hope it doesn't turn into the kind of game we had in Santiago when matters really did get out of hand, and very early on too. We saw Romario sparring before the kick-off. He was then sent off. Ormedio sent off There were bookings, all sorts of drama. And what do we have here?
Well, Galveo's gone sliding in himself there, really. The Chilean player on the ball had just got ahead of him, and he went in really with his legs wide open and stretched out, and he's took a heavy knock.
Branco's gone down now. Already tempo's becoming frayed in the first few minutes. So much at stake. Branco. And they'll need to curb Branco's probing runs down the left flank. And Jorginho too, as Don was saying, down the right. Here's Puebla. He's a player who comes forward whenever he can for Chile. And they have players of match-winning potential. We saw earlier that Puebla now involved. It looked to me as if he almost stepped on Bebeto.
Yes, when we see the replay it will be interesting. It looks as though he stood on his knee as he went for the ball.
See it again. The wall from the crowd will tell you, I think there's a caution. Puebla certainly caught him,
and then he's thrown him as well.
Well, he did, didn't he?
Yes.
Well, the referee has taken the name of Puebla.
He's got to do that. He's got to stamp his authority on the game from the start.
Here's Branco. It was Branco who was fouled by Ormenio in that first game. The first caution. And Ormenio then committed a second offence a little later on, so he had to go. Corner forced by Brazil. Let's hope we see the best of Brazil tonight, because they really have shown so much attacking flair in their recent games. They started very slowly in the South American Championships and got better and better as the tournament wore on. And they were very, very impressive against Venezuela, even allowing for the limitations of Venezuela. 6 goals and could easily have been 10. Valdo. Silas. One of the survivors, remember, from the '86 World Cup squad. Here's Bebeto. Dunga. Valdo, they're lining up here. Fine save by Rojas.
Well, that was a super move. That was a nice, patient move around the Chilean box. Waiting and playing for the right opening. Then a long shot goes in. Well hit. Rojas is a good goalkeeper, the Chilean goalkeeper.
And he, of course, played against England at Wembley.
Yes, he did.
Earlier this year in the Rouse Cup. And he has a high reputation around the world now. Rojas plays for Sao Paulo in Brazil, so they know all about him. Throw to Chile. This is Jesus. Jesus. Searching out the Brazilian defence. And they weren't found wanting. Away goes Valdo. Little flick off there from Bebeto. Silas has gone pouring down the right. Puebla. Tough little customer, Puebla. Dunga. Silas. Brazilian confidence is growing. Valdo. Oh, lovely skill. Shot only just over. Marvellous play then by the Brazilians.
Valdo's little lob there, kind of down that right side, was super. Right in the back of the defenders, and then a lovely flick over his head. That's true Brazilian skill.
Jorginho it is, firing over the bar.
Well, he's going to spend his time down that right flank, Peter. That's where he does best. Same with Branco on the left side. They're virtually play as wingers, those two fullbacks.
They're not badly off for fullbacks at the moment with Branco, Jorginho, Marzinho, of course, not in the side. The wealth of talent now in the Brazilian squad is really enviable. 10 minutes gone. Brazil 0, Chile 0. If it should stay this way, it'll be enough to take Brazil through. But Chile will fight them every inch of the way.
Yes, they will, Peter. They're good defenders, the Chileans. They don't give a thing away. They keep their heads around the box. They don't go diving in. You know, I mean, the Brazilians have run into the box with a couple of balls, and nobody's gone diving in. They're not going to give penalties away.
Well, they had to win by 8, as I was saying earlier on, against Venezuela, and apparently they had the chances to have done so too. But as it is, Brazil have a better goal difference by virtue of their victories over Venezuela. Very much the weakest team in the group. Here's Ricardo, tall and commanding figure, always looks so assured. Dunga from Fiorentina in Italy. At least he is at the moment. He's having disputes with them. Careca given away. Puebla.
Well, Dunga's going to be the playmaker once more, Peter. I mean, he's good at that. He'll take it off all the back four players. You know, he'll give it simple all the time. He'll get the rest of the team playing. He's a good playmaker, is Dunga.
Well, Aravena here is the playmaker in the Chilean side, and you saw his outstanding ability from set pieces with that goal against Venezuela in their first meeting. Aravena, in fact, scored 2 in that game. 1-3-1 by Chile. Valdo to Branco. This is Valdo, very much involved in the early stages. Dunga, Jorginho. Brazilians enjoying a lot of possession. Now for Branco. Clipped away, and a corner. Rojas with that early save to make. And he's certainly an inspiring figure to have behind you. And I'm sure that Tafarel here may well be the quieter goalkeeper of the two in terms of what he has to do. Tafarel must make sure he doesn't lose his concentration, as he did in that first game in Santiago, right at the end. Dunga. Branco shot off target. And he's not afraid to try his luck, Branco. Scored a marvellous goal in the 4-0 win over Venezuela, the first game in Caracas, from long range. Time he got his sights wrong.
He'll get his shots in. He'll have a go from that angle, from that kind of forward, inside left, outside left position. He whacks them into the back post. I mean, it only needs a touch. If he's off the target, it only needs a touch and he can go in, and that's by a forward or a defender. Hard and low crosses, typical Brazilian cross, hard and low into the back post.
And here come Brazil yet again. Certainly dominating the early stages. They haven't found a way past this man Rojas as yet. It's Gonzalez who scored that unfortunate own goal in the first game. Couldn't really do too much about it. The clearance from Stengo going straight at him. But it was that kind of night. Jesus. And he was the player clumped by Romario, which earned Romario his dismissal. What a waste of Romario's talent that was. Such a gifted player, and he got involved in a spot of jostling before the game and then carried it on from there too. So he's out of this one. Dunga. Here's Branco. As ever willing to support the attacking players. Not very successfully there, though.
Yes, but he'll keep doing that, Peter. I mean, that's 2 or 3 he's whacked in there, and it's just a matter of time before somebody gets on the end of it. I mean, Dunga's switching the play. He's getting the ball from the left and playing it right, getting the ball from the right, playing it left. You know, and he's given that. He's trying to work his way around the sides of the Chilean defence.
Quarter of an hour gone in the first half in the Maracana Stadium. Brazil 0, Chile 0. Most of the questions being asked so far by Brazil. Here's Bebeto, who's now joined Vasco da Gama from Flamengo. 2 great rivals in Brazil. Talk of a move to Bayern Munich fell through. Bebeto, the new star of Brazil. Well, they've got plenty of them at the moment. Here's Silas. Correca. Dunga. Glorious pass. Silas. Correca to Puebla. And a free kick to Chile. Passes there with the outside of the foot on. Marvellous to see.
Well, I mean, that's here again, that's typical Brazilian football. Outside the foot, little flicks, little lift over defenders' heads. Little 1-2s off chest or off heads. You know, play the ball in the air rather than go on the deck at times to get in there.
It's going to be a real test of character for Chile. They're still very much in contention at the moment. That won't help their cause. Here's Bebeto. Pizarro. Much will depend on the strength at the back of Stengo and Gonzalez. And of course this man, Rojas. Puebla. Jorginho with the throw. This is Ricardo Roca. 2 Ricardos then in the Brazilian side. Here's the other one. From Benfica, Ricardo. Now Silas. Bebeto. The Brazilians settling for a 3-man midfield. Just the 2 up front. They have experimented with 3 up front. Here's Silas now. But they feel happier with either Bebeto and Correca or Bebeto and Romario. Branco's clever chip. Dunga across. Just palming it away. And he's hurt himself in the process. Dunga back across the goal. And somehow Rojas kept out the header.
That was a clever flick to the back post. I think that's Correca there.
It's Correca.
Who's super in the air, but Rojas was... he's very forward. Great agility to get to that ball there, the goalkeeper.
He performed miracles to keep that one out.
It looks like a shoulder, Peter.
And he certainly came clattering down. And some worried looks on the faces of the Chilean players, and no wonder, because Rojas already has denied the Brazilians on 2 or 3 occasions with his excellent goalkeeping, his agility. And yes, it's the shoulder, isn't it?
Yes. Well, as he went across to his right-hand side, he got his hand to the ball and pushed it away. As he come down, he clattered onto that shoulder, on the point of the shoulder.
What a clever cross there. It was Dunga, and Correca's header so nearly sneaking in. Well, Rojas is able to continue. A sigh of relief, I'm sure, from the Chile bench and from those defenders. Mas now in the penalty area, hoping to keep Brazil out. Inspired piece of goalkeeping.
Yes, he did well to get across, and he did well to get in front of the fullback on the near post.
Valdo again. Chile defending desperately and successfully. At least for the moment anyway, but with 20 minutes gone, it's all Brazil at the moment. And they'll feel a lot safer if they can score a goal. Fouled this time by Aravena. He's had to come back and help out. It'll be Branco with the free kick. And you wonder how long Chile can go on resisting. Who knows with the kind of form that goalkeeper Roberto Rojas is in. Here's Branco. There's some venom behind that shot.
He's got a hell of a shot on his left foot.
And they have so much variety.
They'll be on the keeper here. Look, he's banged it on the keeper and they followed it in. Anything the goalkeeper drops, they'll pick up the bits and knock it in.
And we've seen the imagination that Brazil have from these set pieces around the penalty area. This time it was a spanking shot from Branco. Mauro Galvão. This is Dunga directing operations from midfield. And Chile hoping to soak up the pressure and catch the Brazilians on the break. They haven't had too many opportunities so far. Here's Branco. Valdo. Lovely little interchange of passes. Still Branco. He's like a left winger, really.
Well, Branco set that one up. I mean, he played a lovely 1-2 there to get in the back of the Chilean defence. And then he come back to Silas, who just missed outside the far post.
Deflected out then, and Silas just had time to weigh up the shot. But beyond the far post, and Chile live to fight another day. Chile, who were knocked out in the first phase of the South American Championships, certainly one of the stronger South American nations now. They didn't reach the '86 World Cup finals. They were pipped by Paraguay, but they played in '82. Isis playing it forward, and a free kick to Chile. A little bit too far out perhaps for Aravena, but we'll see. There he is, number 10. Plays his club football in Mexico.
It looks as though he's lining up a shot. He's placing that ball very delicately, and we have seen him score from the edge of the box. This looks a little bit far out.
Well, this is South America.
He's going to have a go, yeah.
Who knows? That's a treasure for a long time, Maradona's effort from the halfway line in the South American Championships. I think you will too, Don. That one.
Well, he's just made a mess of that free kick, but that won't put him off. I'll tell you, he'll have a go next time. It is now lining it up. He must be kind of 40 yards away.
And not really testing Tafarel at all.
No, and no players. I mean, the Brazilians are held the edge of the box, so there's no way they're going to get anybody in on the knockdown either.
But I was just referring there to Maradona's effort, in case people didn't see it. He was inside the centre circle and had a shot at goal in Argentina's match, I think against Uruguay, wasn't it? Or Brazil, one of those two games anyway.
Uruguay, yes.
And he hit the bar. And apparently was very upset too.
Yeah, but that was in free play, Peter. That wasn't a free kick where the goalkeeper's got to... I mean, he just caught the goalkeeper kind of too far off his line in free play. Where that was a free kick, where virtually every Aravena was telling everybody in the stadium, look what I'm going to do.
And it does underline that they are prepared to try anything out here. Full of enterprise. And the Brazilians are certainly playing with flair now. Bad tackle on Branco. And the side do seem to be getting better and better, don't they, Don, this Brazilian team? We've seen them in the last few weeks.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, they are now, for the sake of it, getting household names like they used to do. I mean, even in Europe, you knew what the Brazilian team would be. And you are getting players now like Bebeto and Careca, Romario, Dunga, who people here in Europe know of now. And obviously, with them playing in Europe as well, playing in Italy and playing in Holland and playing in France, they're getting used to European football. And obviously, I think we all hope that they're going to get through tonight, because you can't ever imagine a World Cup with Brazil not being in. You know, they are one of the star attractions.
This is Dunga now. He is an attraction in Italy at the moment with Fiorentina. Franco to Ricardo. Here's Careca. Still Careca. Well, what a pity he couldn't finish, because the move was sheer delight. The Brazilians weaving their way forward, and Careca, well, just couldn't keep his shot down.
Well, it's all on simple give and goes. I mean, it is lovely touch, and they have a little bit of luck there with the deflection. But also, I'll say this about the Chileans, that they are inviting the shots from long range for some unknown reason. I don't know whether they think the Brazilians haven't got anyone who can score from outside the box. They're virtually going back to the edge of the box and saying, well, we're not going any farther than this. You can have a shot from 25 yards, but when you come in here, then we're going to take it off you. I think that's living dangerously.
They've got a lot of faith in Rojas, and rightly so, but as Don's saying there, it's asking a lot of Chilean defence to withstand this sort of pressure. And they can't leave it all to Rojas. The occasion has certainly been built up. Security has been extremely tight. They've had the kind of security backup, the Chilean party, that's normally reserved for heads of state. After the incidents of the first meeting. And I have to say, they haven't been too welcome in Rio, the Chilean party. Some of the top hotels apparently refused to accommodate them. And the manager of the stadium here wasn't looking forward to the prospect of Brazil not qualifying. I think he was wondering if he'd have a stadium left if Brazil don't go on. 160,000 people here.
Well, they're very hot-blooded and emotional, the crowd, and
it's going Brazil's way at the moment. Here's Completo. The draw is enough, but they're not going to settle back for that. It's a bad foul. And this time, the Brazilians were closed down, but illegally. It's Valdo.
And this one's in a dangerous area, Peter. I think this is one that, if they get things right here,
the Chileans can't afford to give these away. It's a rash tackle by Aravena. Rojas now has to organise that wall ahead of him. Valdo is there. They've got just about anyone could try it from here. They've got so many players.
Well, they're getting six in the wall, so they're very aware that the shot's going to come in, and they're looking for us. Oh, the referee's pulling them back. I thought they were going to have a split wall. Yeah, they got a split wall to let the goalkeeper see the ball, which is interesting.
Valdo. Not this time.
That's a different type of a wall. I mean, we normally see a block wall where we've got 4 or 5 players together. There's a split wall there, so the goalkeeper can look through the wall at the ball, rather than get pushed over to one side of his goal. The problems with the wall at times is that he pushes the goalkeeper to, say, the far post, and then they play the ball over the wall at the free kick, and it goes in at the near post. At least with the split wall, he's centrally in his goal, he's got his proper position. The only thing that you can get a deflection through those split walls.
So it stays at 0-0 in the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. This World Cup qualifying game, the vital last game in this group to decide who goes on to Italy. If it remains 0-0 or indeed finishes in a draw, it's Brazil who will qualify. Stengo. It's hard to see, Don, how Chile are going to score one.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they're waiting for the second half. I don't know whether they think the Brazilians are going to run out of steam or what, but like they're keeping the ball at the back. I've got to say this, the Brazilians are going back to their own goal as they lose the ball anyway, so they're giving them room to knock it around at the back. And I think they're hoping they'll come forward with it and then leave space behind them. They're inviting the Chileans to come forward.
Silas. Half an hour gone now. Still no breakthrough as yet for Brazil. They certainly had chances, and they've met the goalkeeper in Rojas, who's having one of those nights. He's kept out everything that Brazil can fire at him. Franco has got an injury, it seems to be limping there. Here's Careca. Completo! Couldn't finish it.
He got half a chance there on that cross, but I'll tell you what, he was closed down with about 3 Chilean defenders within kind of a split second.
I think they know all about Bebeto. You can see there just Don saying how quickly the tackles came in. Gonzalez to tidy up in the end. Bebeto didn't score in the 6-0 win over Venezuela, but he did score a couple in the 4-0 win in Caracas, and he got 6 in the South American Championships. So he's proving to be quite a find for Brazil. Branco, deft control. Here's Silas. Glorious skill again. Now Branco. The Brazilians knocking the ball around sweetly. Dunga, a long way out.
What Dunga does, Peter, is if the ball goes, say, down the left flank, as it did there, or down the right flank, and they get stuck, they can't get in there, he sits kind of as the point man, kind of 10, 15 yards from the Chilean box, and they can come back to him and he can go out the other side, or he can do exactly what he did then, he can go in for a shot for himself. You know, Graham Souness used to do that for Liverpool, absolutely super. We call it the point man.
It's Dunga again there. Mauro Galvao now. Yet, interestingly, we were talking beforehand, and you were wondering whether Alamao shouldn't be in the starting lineup, perhaps ahead of Dunga. But it's an interesting point.
Yeah, well, Alamao, I like Alamao. I think he's a better athlete than Dunga. He's quicker than Dunga, and he attacks more with the ball than Dunga. You know, he threatens to do something himself all the time. And when I've seen him play for Naples, he's always impressed me, Alamao.
Certainly fired them up in the UEFA Cup final, I remember, when he came on. He's had a lot of problems with illness, Alamao. Hepatitis, in fact. So he missed much of last season, and he's not in the starting lineup tonight, but I'm sure will be there and available if needed. Branco. It's still Brazil very much in command, but no goals so far. Yanez now. Haven't seen too much of him so far. He can be dangerous up front. But there aren't too many opportunities for Chile to shine as an attacking force. They've got to get out of their own half first. Completo. Caught then by Gonzalez. I think he went for the ball though. Not?
Well, yes, he did. He put his foot in for the ball, but his shoulder and his right arm came through to connect in the top half of the body. I mean, he was going to knock him down one way or the other.
He's a pretty uncompromising defender, Gonzalez here, number 5.
Oh, they're good players. I mean, Gonzalez and Estengo, I mean, they're world-class defenders. And yet every now and again they resort to those type of tactics.
Well, they've got to show themselves too, Chile, as an attacking force, there to win this game. And that's what they have to do. Nothing else will suffice. Here's Bebeto. Again crowded out.
We haven't seen the best of Bebeto yet, Peter. I mean, he plays like Peter Beardsley.
Just pause there. A little bit of defending for Brazil to do. Ricardo, who got it clear.
You know, he plays kind of 10 yards behind Careca, 10 yards like Peter Beardsley plays, kind of comes deeper off Gary Lineker. Well, Bebeto does that for Brazil with Careca, and more times than not, he opens things up for them. He hasn't done that yet. You know, he's gone out there and he's tried to set things up. He's tried to come on dribbles and 1-2s, and yet he hasn't got in there yet.
Silas now then for Brazil. Drawing towards the end of the first half. It's Careca. Ten minutes, in fact, of the first half still to go. We're just talking there about Gary Lineker and Peter Beardsley, and many people listening tonight, well, I'm sure will be interested to know the latest of Brian Robson from the England camp, Don.
Yes, well, I know Bobby's he's talking to Brian virtually 3 times a day, and he's looking very doubtful or not. I don't know whether the decision has been made yet to pull Brian out of Wednesday's game in Sweden, but he's looking very, very doubtful.
And that, of course, is going to be a very sad blow for you.
Yes, it is. Yes, I mean, he not only leads the pack in terms of being captain, but I mean, his ability to get forward and score important goals for us over the years has been absolutely fantastic. He leads by example, does Brian, and he gives his lot at all times.
Well, Chile and Brazil are certainly giving their all here in the Maracana. This is Valdo. Dunga. Now Jorginho. Mainly Brazil, but just that threat of a counter-attack for Chile, and they've put pretty firm at the back for all the pressure they've had to cope with. Stengo and Gonzalez at the heart of the back four.
They are defending the D, the Brazilians, the D, the centre of the box, absolutely super there. I mean, they are trying, the Brazilians, to get through there all the time and play their 1-2s. But the Chileans are cutting it off all the time. I mean, they've crowded that D. I mean, they're getting about 4 players in the D and not letting them get through the middle. If they do get in there, the Brazilians, it'll be on one-touch football, and it'll be very skillful stuff.
Well, they've had plenty of bright moments in the first half, have Brazil, but they haven't managed to score yet. Here's Dunga. 1-1. Just to recap the score in Santiago, a very ill-tempered game. Thankfully, this one hasn't got out of hand in any way as yet. And the crowd totally absorbed in this tussle, the struggle for a place in the World Cup finals. Careca with a header on.
There's a nice little flick, yes, try and get on the end of it there.
Ricardo.
They go very, very deep in defence, the Brazilians, and when you see that long ball goes, you see a lot of kind of one-on-one situations with the Chilean forward, and you think, you know, he's going to have to be 100% here, else the fella's going to get in for a shot. You know, they do look, the Brazilians at times, open on a good long ball forward.
They're attacking now themselves. Brazil, Valdo's pass. Completo waiting in the middle, and Careca too, and Rojas with a comfortable save. And what an outstanding first half Rojas has had. A very reliable last line of defence.
He came and cut that out great.
Jesus. Will have to give a better service than that, though, to the front players.
He only needs one, Peter. He only needs one good one for the chance.
And that clearly is the Chilean ploy. Here's Careca now. Pizarro, no foul. Referee allowing the advantage to Brazil. And it's taken up now by Silas. Franco failing to get in. Firm challenge. This Brazilian team, as well as scoring a lot of goals, aren't giving too many away either. And it augurs well for them, for the moment anyway, if they make it to Italy. Especially, as I was mentioning earlier, so many of the players now with European experience, Don.
Oh yes, I mean, if you look at the Brazilian team and see where they're playing, you know, they're dotted all over Europe. They're in Portugal, they're in Spain, they're in Holland, they're in France.
Arovena for Chile. Avena, prominent goal scorer in Mexican football. And now Chile would relish one from him tonight. Here's Valdo. Careca. 5 minutes to half-time. Chile again defending in numbers here. They've cleared their lines again.
That was a good move, and it was a good cross because it eliminated the goalkeeper on the back post. There was nothing for the goalkeeper there, but the header didn't come.
That'll be a free kick to Brazil. I think Yanez had heard the whistle. He was tripped anyway.
Well, there was a whistle, and he kept going, the Chilean forward, and the Brazilian came across and lost his head, and he had a go at the Chilean.
Now Dunga's got involved as well, quite unnecessarily. And the referee could be sorting things out. Ricardo, who seems to be the cooling influence in the Brazilian side. A yellow card. I think that was issued in the general direction of Yanez.
Yeah, well, the whistle goes and he knocks it on and knocks it on. And then the Brazilian came across and kind of hit him.
But all is now quietened down. And on we go. Brazil still searching for the first goal.
Tell you what, in this atmosphere, Pete, I think the referee's having a good game. You know, he must realise that he could get out of hand, and he's getting right to the ball, he's getting right to the area where the trouble is, and he's dealing with it straight away. There are times when the players are crowding him a little bit, and the linesman got in amongst it then and helped to sort it out.
Webler with the tackle. Didn't do well enough though. And here's Silas with a great reverse pass to him. Dunga to Branco. Swerving it. Oh, what a save by Rojas. Incredible swerve on the shot then. It dipped and bent from Branco.
Leading with the outside of his left foot, Peter. And he came back. I mean, most of his shots have gone outside the far post. And obviously Rojas has remembered that. He's moving towards his far post, thinking the shots go there, and the swerves brought it into his near post. He did well to recover.
Valdo with the corner. Brazil must be wondering if they're ever going to find a way past this man Rojas. Terrific save from Branco here. He's made so many penetrating runs down the flank, and also reminded us then of his shooting ability. The curling shot, and Rojas going the other way really, changing direction and keeping it out. Man of the hour, no doubt. Branco with a free kick.
He's a top-class goalkeeper, Peter. I mean, he's not only making these wonderful saves, but he's forever. Another long-range shot gone over the top. He's forever kind of giving information to his defenders, you know, and that alone helps the situation. You know, he's pulling them here, pushing them there, telling them who to mark. You know, he's very aware and very alert of not only his own job but the defenders' jobs. You know, that is the sign of a real top-class keeper.
And as long as it stays at 0-0, Chile are in with a chance. They're being extended again. Completo hoping to make his presence felt. It's yet another corner to Brazil. Once again, it's Valdo to take it. Rojas underneath it. A clean catch. He looks such a competent all-round goalkeeper, Rojas. He doesn't seem to have a weakness at all.
No, he doesn't. No.
The last minute of the first half. Still 0-0. And perhaps Chile here can end the half on a high note. There's no free kick given.
Good refereeing decision, Peter.
Silas.
play act in and he let it go.
Valdo. It's Ricardo, the player who's gone outside him here. This is Ricardo now, who's come up from the back. Oh, then given away. But in fact, there is the whistle for the end of the first half.
I'll tell you what, Peter, they'd be pleased with that half-time whistle then, because they were definitely on a break, the Chileans.
Well, no doubt at all that Brazil have dominated the first 45 minutes, but they haven't managed to score. One or two wayward shots, but otherwise, well, this goalkeeper Rojas has performed incredibly well in goal for Chile to keep them out. A memorable save towards half-time from Branco to cap it all, really. No goals then at half-time. If it stays that way, that's enough for Brazil to qualify, but Chile will feel they're still in with a big chance, and why not? A warm welcome back to the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro. The Brazilians are out on the field, eager and anxious to start the second half. No sign of Chile yet. But a word there, Don Harrell, on the referee. We're not quite sure where he's from, but he's certainly he's had a good first half, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, in a very emotional atmosphere. The thing about him, what I like, is he's a tall man. You know, he looks perhaps past 6 foot. He might be kind of 6'2", 6'3", and I always think that helps a referee. You know, his physical presence is enough to control the thing. The players have to look up to him whether they like or not. And obviously he's going to be a fairly strong guy, and he's getting on top, and he's always on the spot. You know, when there's been trouble, he's virtually been there. And these two teams do play stretched out, and it's difficult for a referee to do that. But he's done it. And also the linesmen have helped as well. You know, if there's been trouble around the touchline, they've been in amongst it and kept the players away and kept them spread out and not let them group round the referee.
Well, here come at last the Chilean players. Aravena there hasn't really been able to stamp any authority on the game. He's the man that makes things happen.
Yes, he does.
Chile,
he's the playmaker for Chile, as Dunga is for Brazil, and yet he's a different type of player to Dunga. I mean, Aravena hits a lot of long balls. You know, he hits the kind of the Johnny Giles ball. You know, he's hitting the one kind of 40 yards, looking to get people in. Whereas Dunga, he's just a simple playmaker. Gives it simple, has it back, plays it there, has it back, in the Liverpool mould.
So then, away we go. Chile start the second half. Brazil, as it stands at the moment, 45 minutes away from qualifying for the World Cup finals, as they've done on every previous occasion, remember. Chile missed out in '86. And they intend to have a say as to who goes on this time, and it certainly isn't over yet. But here is Careca, surging forward for Brazil. Jorginho going in hard then for Brazil. Isis to Aravena. And Brazil certainly feel a lot happier if they can obtain the cushion of an early goal, just to ease the situation. They've got a corner here.
Well, it's the same pattern. It's Brazil taking the game to Chile all the way, and I think it's going to go through that way all the second half. It will be interesting to see what happens in the last 20 minutes in terms of will the Brazilians, especially at the back, lose their concentration.
It's Branco with the corner. Just having to move back that posse of photographers. Everybody wants a picture of this game. Rojas Not quite sure how he saw that one through a crowd of players, but I think the referee had spotted an infringement anyway. But he is having a remarkable game, Rojas.
I don't know what he gave a free kick there for. I don't know whether it touched the Brazilian player's hand, but he was lucky to catch the ball because he took it at waist high. I mean, normally he'd have that ball taken in front of him trying to catch it there.
Well, I think if there's any luck going, he deserves it. Some memorable saves in the first half from Roberto Rojas. They're familiar with him in Brazil. He plays for Sao Paulo, remember. And they'll certainly remember his performance this evening. Ostengo. Pretty rare excursion upfield for him. Aravena. Brazil playing themselves into trouble. No, the whistle's gone.
I think they were looking to get away with a foul there.
Well, they've got the free kick. It was a push there. Push on Ricardo.
The defender was nearly caught on the ball.
Dunga taking the free kick. Here's Jorginho. Just signed for Bayer Leverkusen in West Germany. Another player then who will be parading his talents in Europe. And this huge crowd will feel a little easier if Brazil can find a goal.
Oh yeah, they're making a lot of noise, that crowd, and yet I think that they're getting a little bit frustrated themselves. I would think that they thought Brazil would kind of get in front at some time in the first half.
Well, if so, they reckon without this man Rojas. Chile, remember, went behind in the first meeting in Santiago. An extraordinary own goal by Gonzalez. It's Correca now. Is this the first? Rojas couldn't keep it out this time. And Correca has scored for Brazil.
Well, that was Bebeto who made that one. We talked about him playing like Peter Beardsley. He's come deep there and he's received the ball off Dunga. He's turned on it and he's slid a ball in between the centre-backs for Correca to get onto, and he's manoeuvred well. Look. He's gone round the kind of right back as he's come tucking in, and he's hit a shot, not a good shot. And Rojas got a hand to it and couldn't stop it going in.
Nor could Pueblo on the line. Correca. Rojas, a little unfortunate then. Puebla couldn't reach it either.
He took a little bit of a bounce, the ball, and it caught the top of his hand rather than the flat of his hand.
Correca stayed composed then.
If it hit the flat of his hand, he'd have made a save there. He'd have knocked it away at least.
An excellent finish though from Correca, and Brazil have taken the lead, and Chile now have to score two, and you have to say that is going to be a very, very difficult task for them indeed. It's hard enough to expect them to score one. Now they've got to get two. Here's Jorginho. Brazil with their tails up, and jubilant scenes around the Maracana. Puebla on the break for Chile. They've got to come out now. No two ways about it. They can't just sit back, hope to defend and hope to catch Brazil on the counter-attack. They've got to look for goals. And really, that's asking an awful lot of them, Don.
Well, that's right. I mean, the forwards really haven't been in the picture, have they? I mean, the Brazilians have restricted them a hell of a lot.
Puebla plowing past one tackle, then brought down. They need a lift now.
I think we could see a lot of that that's just happened. I think we'll see perhaps the Chileans, especially around the box, dribble into groups of defenders, dribble into the middle of them, and kind of take the ball left and right, and then hoping for a Brazilian to put his foot out and get these type of free kicks in these situations.
Well, the Maracana crowd are convinced that Brazil are now on their way to the finals. Can Chile come back? They're a goal down. Aravena. Well, it dipped a bit, but it dipped wide.
Yeah, well, the idea was to hit a stinging shot in on the keeper and get people to follow in, looking for the knockdown. He's just leaned back off his ball a little bit and it's gone high, wide and handsome.
But now Chile have got to push players forward. They've got to be far more ambitious than they've been in the game so far, and that might just leave one or two Spaces at the back for the Brazilians now to exploit. And it's a game now, really, you'd expect Brazil to go on to win pretty comfortably.
Yes, yes.
We shall see. The Chileans have played gamely, they've battled on, hoping for something. It looks a little forlorn hope now. Puebla, Isis, Aravena, already there, committing one or two players more forward. And they've got a free kick, just a few yards outside the area. So it could be an opportunity here for Aravena. Ricardo complaining, but I can't see why.
Well, he's gone reaching for a ball that he can't get, really. I mean, the player's done well to come across him and come on his inside on his left foot, and he's reached across with his right foot and knocked him over.
So the Brazilians with a little bit of defending to do. Taffarel, who's been virtually unemployed throughout this game, has something to do at last. Aravena is there. Pizarro.
Well, there's a Chilean on the end of the wall. There's 4 men in the wall.
It wasn't Aravena this time. Comes to nothing anyway. Advantage allowed. Here's Aravena. Yanez. He's forced the corner. Is he? Yes.
Just a missed kick there, the free kick before that, Peter. I think the fellow who was supposed to hit it as a surprise shot, he kicked the ground in front of the ball.
What do you feel now the Brazilian tactics will be? I don't think they'll just sit back.
They won't sit back, but they've got to defend this because the Chileans are definitely coming forward now.
Well, they've got to. No alternative. Isis with the header. Taffarel nonchalantly with the save. Off goes Valdo.
Interesting, the Brazilians never put any fullbacks on the goal line there at the corner.
Valdo. Nauro Galvao. Free kick to Chile. They've got to show some urgency now. Aravena with the free kick. Yanez from Betis in Spain. They're still battling for every ball, Chile. They've got another free kick, and if they can just get one goal back to level it, well, who knows? Ten minutes of the second half gone. Letelier was waiting in the middle. The shot didn't get through that sea of players.
I'll tell you something about this, Peter. If the Chileans can come forward and get people forward, is that they're not used to defending, especially those two fullbacks. I mean, the fellow in the outside right position there, he went past the fullback dead easy. You know, the thing about Branco and Jorginho, they're so used to spending all their time attacking that if they are put in the defending situation, perhaps they'll be found out.
And that, I'm sure, will be on the minds of European teams who may well
I always
the
remember
Brazilians.
when we came here with England and John Barnes scored that fantastic goal. They had a fellow named Leandro playing right back, and he was terrific going forward, but he couldn't defend. And of course, John found him out, and he found out one or two of the Brazilian defenders by running at them and getting at them.
Jorginho for Brazil. Now Careca, the goal scorer. 5 goals now in 2 games for Careca. The Brazilian crowd cheering every move, hoping they can turn on the sky. Silas. Flag was up anyway. We haven't seen many offsides in this game.
The first one.
Could be the first.
Yep.
Letelier, who got 3 in the 5-0 win over Venezuela. Nothing really has come his way in this one so far. Isis. Here's Yanez. Done well here. Ricardo Roca away. And the Brazilians will be hoping that some gaps will appear now. Here's Correca. Good turn of pace. Completo lurking. Didn't fall kindly for him. Isis. 1-0 to Brazil. That will be enough to take them through to the World Cup finals. Anyone just tuning in? Correca, the goal scorer, early in the second half. The Brazilians bombarding the Chilean goal in the first half, but to no avail. But then at last the breakthrough from Correca. The Chile hoping now to bounce back. They've got to score 2. At least. Because the Brazilians certainly aren't settling for 1. Isis.
I think that's what we're going to see now. We're going to see the two teams really stretched out box to box. And you're going to see a lot of space in midfield where players can run with the ball and can express themselves. And obviously when it's played like this, you get a group on this box and you get a group on that box and all the space in the middle. So the game does go end to end.
Certainly could make for an exciting finale.
Yep.
To this group, to this game. Valdo. Here's Silas. Valdo showing his close control, but didn't get him through.
You find when football gets like this, the defender that wins the tackle and wins the ball, he can virtually run from just outside his box deep into the opponent's half, because there's that much space.
Puebla. Mauro Galvão. Valdo seems to pop up everywhere. Completo is going to take them on.
Well, Bebeto will relish all this space now. You know, he'll come kind of about 10, 15 yards deep of Correca and pick up balls, and he'll do one or two things. He'll either slide Correca in, or he'll come with it himself and look for 1-2s and dribbles into the box.
He's been very tightly marked in this game, Bebeto, but he is an outstanding prospect. And I gather his performances in the South American Championships were so highly rated that they put his price up, which was why in the end he didn't go to Germany.
I think he's just like Peter Bees. He plays exactly the same as Peter Bees.
Jorginho slipping it through. Now can Correca pull it back? Off Ostengo for the corner. So more work for Rojas to do in the Chilean goal. A quarter of an hour to the second half. Brazil 1, Chile 0. The climax to this South American group, the qualifying group for the World Cup finals in Italy next year. Branco to take the corner. The Brazilian side really starting to take off in their last few matches. And it will be a major surprise if they don't qualify now. Especially having taken the lead. Rojas, even he can't get this one. Chile clearly haven't given up hope, and rightly so. For the moment, they're being pinned back. Here's Branco. Now for Silas. Quite sure what his intentions were there. Branco. He's got that cross in again, but Puebla, composed piece of defending. On from Yanez. Atelier was chasing hopefully, but Chaparral has the ball safely back in his penalty area. Hasn't had a great deal to do.
Yeah, he's got nothing to do. He's got nothing to do, Peter. His concentration really he'll have to be on his toes all the game. You know, you tend to think, oh well, the goalkeeper's had an easy ride. Yeah.
Silas.
It's concentration for 90 minutes.
And that was such an extraordinary equaliser for Chile in the first game when Taffarel handed the ball to a Chilean player. And then Basai just touched it in. Not quite sure how many referees would have given that one, but never mind. The goal stood, it made it 1-1, and it set up this climax in the final game, which Brazil, for the moment anyway, have control. Now by Gonzalez.
It looks as though he's come out there, Gonzalez. He hasn't let Bebeto have that space. He's come out and took him this time.
Chileans making a substitution. We haven't had, I'm afraid, any official team lists for this game. I think it's Basai they're going to bring on. Jorginho. Free kick to Brazil. Taken by Valdo. This is Silas. Still looking good for Brazil. And Valdo. Now Jorginho. Got his shot in, but Rojas, no problem with that one. And they're coming straight back at him. Pizarro for Chile. And if it's possible, they've got to take the game to Brazil, but they've so much defending to do. It's difficult to see how they're going to manage it. Aravena. 3-1 for Chile against Venezuela, and then 5-0. 1-1 against Brazil.
You see, there was a risky moment there for Brazil. You know, the defender had to come across and he had to be 100% into the ball. There were two Chileans on the spot waiting for his mistake.
Off goes Branco again. A dreadful tackle, but the referee allowing the advantage.
It's interesting that, because allowing the advantage really staved off a problem. Because I think if it had stopped the game, I think the two sets of players would have been arguing.
An awful tackle.
That was a shocking tackle.
That was on Correca, not Branco, but the yellow card for Isis.
Oh yes, he's got it. He saw it. He noticed it, and he's punished it now. There it goes, the body check. But the referee let it go to the advantage of Brazil. And then he punished it after when the ball went out and went dead.
Completo couldn't quite keep it in play.
You see, if you keep stopping the game all the time as a referee, you can ask for more. You can create more problems, because the players have got the chance then to get together and start arguing.
Free kick.
I tell you what, every time you see a free kick, he's there on the spot, the referee. He always seems to be within 10 yards. He must be a super fit fella.
Silas and then Correca and Dunga going in hard. Free kick taken quickly. Here's Puebla. Chile still persevering, still hoping. Pizarro. They haven't shown a great deal of sharpness, one has to say, up front. And they're going to need that now if they're to change the course of this match, which decides who goes on to Italy next year. Gonzalez, strong man at the back, but his team are a goal down. Could be something on here. Adavena. Oh, lovely skill, and then a crunching tackle. Mauro Galvao, who came storming out of defence.
I don't know what he's arguing about really, because that was a vicious foul. He went in virtually with 2 feet. Look at that. Oof. And he's getting up and arguing with the referee, and the referee's on the spot again, 5 yards from it.
So, can they test Tafarel in the Brazilian goal? Adavena doubtless will be involved with the free kick. He was the second highest goal scorer in Mexico last season. A lot of the goals coming from set pieces. Whistles and jeers from the crowd. They're only happy when their beloved Brazilians are attacking. Asai couldn't get away from Ricardo. Asai. As I was saying, Don, we have no official team list. I think, in fact, number 3 is Aldair for Brazil, and not Ricardo, as we thought earlier. So they've made that switch at the back. Aldair, who played in some of the earlier
games.
He's
always been the mainstay of the Brazilian, together with Ricardo. It's always been Aldair and Ricardo, the 2 Brazilian centre-backs.
Thrown. Goalkeeper Rojas, who dives to the ground.
It looks like a firework. There was something smoking there. It looks as though something's hit him. And obviously the Chileans are going to make a meal of it.
Well, they will. But if he really has been hit by a firecracker, then the Brazilians are going to be in deep trouble. The Chilean players reacting to the crowd. We're going wild, of course.
Yes, it's a firework.
Certainly thrown. I don't know whether it hit him or not, but the way he's behaving there, it certainly would appear that something is amiss.
Well, there's nothing the referee can do, but it makes you want that the goalkeeper's looked after, if he's okay. And then obviously, it's up to FIFA then to do something about the crowd problems within the Maracana Stadium.
Well, the referee...
Well, the Chilean physios are saying no. They're putting their thumbs down as though he's got a problem with his eyes or something.
The referee has gone away from the scene for the moment. It's the linesman there.
Yes.
Trying to keep order. The referee is back over now and is steering 1 or 2 of the Brazilians away. Certainly concern from the Chilean bench. I mean, the referee couldn't have seen the incident. He was obviously looking the other way as everybody else was.
Well, that's right.
Suddenly went down.
What can he do anyway? I mean, obviously the Chileans will say, can you abandon the game and start again? Which obviously he can't. I mean, he's just got to make sure that Rojas is okay. If Rojas can't continue, they're going to have to get the substitute keeper on.
Well, there's some confusion as to what is going to happen now. The Chileans are far from happy. The Brazilians look a bit bewildered by it all too, understandably. The arguments not getting too toward at the moment, getting too out of hand. Helping Rojas away. Whether they're going to take him off the field, it looks like it. he is unable to continue, then there will be quite serious consequences. He has been hit by a missile, either firecracker or whatever.
Yes,
The Chileans obviously do have a very strong face.
It looks as though there's blood there or something down the side of his face.
Well, the Chileans were very aggrieved by the punishment inflicted by FIFA in the first game, when they were ordered to play a match against Venezuela in Mendoza. Just apologise for the pictures breaking up for the moment. We hope to restore those to you as soon as we can. As you can see, Rojas has been carried off. Some of the players have left the field too. Poor old referee has got to sort all this out. Well, there are a lot of officials wandering around now with purposeful looks, but no one has been in to ferry out the Chilean team. He looked fairly important, that chap going down there. Perhaps he's going to do something.
It might. I think it looks like a Brazilian tracksuit, to be honest. I don't know what it is.
The Brazilian players are still out there.
Well, they've got to go in and find out if the South American Football Federation kind of official man on the spot's there and get hold of him, or FIFA's man on the spot there and say, hey, go and get these fellas out the dressing room, let's get on with the game. Obviously, then a doctor's got to decide whether Rojas can continue or not. If he can't continue, the substitute goalkeeper takes his place. That looks like someone from FIFA there.
But has any decision been taken? Well, that, I'm afraid we can't tell you. The Brazilians don't know either.
Well, I'd put my money on it that those two gentlemen there walking towards the referee are FIFA delegates.
They're certainly not dressed to play, so they're not going to finish off the game at the moment, nor will Chile. And there was a little bit of a shrug of the shoulders then. So the referee, and he's called it off. He has called the game off, which we can only presume means that Chile refused to reappear. And it's a very hostile reception from the crowd, jeering and whistling all around the stadium. The Maracana absolutely full, and the Brazilian players leave the field. Listen to that noise. The game is over. It's been abandoned by the referee. Just what the outcome will be, I have no idea. But Chile have clearly refused to come back. And they left the field after their goalkeeper, they claim, was hit by a missile. So they obviously have a case. But surely they should have returned to finish the game and then argue about it with the FIFA officials.
Yes, it's almost certain now what will happen is the game will be replayed in a neutral country in somewhere in South America. You know, the closest country to Brazil, I would think. Which would be where? I really don't know. My geography is not that good.
But it may well be
as Chile had to do in their last game with Venezuela. They went into Mendoza. Having had the problems in the first game when Brazil played in Chile. And they had all those problems. They then punished the Chilean Federation by making them play their game against Venezuela in Argentina. And I would think that's going to happen this time.
Unless FIFA decide that Chile should have come back, they should have finished the game.
Right. I mean, unless they've decided that the Chileans have taken the law into their own hands.
And have they abused
and decided that, we're not going to play anymore.
And the Chileans presumably are claiming their players were in danger. One had been hit, others could have been.
Those two gentlemen have definitely got FIFA badges on the jackets though.
Well, the only decision that has definitely been made is that the game has been abandoned. Brazil leading Chile by 1-0. That would have enabled them to qualify if it had stayed that way. Perhaps it still will. Clearly Chile believe they're going to get another chance by not returning to the field. There's no other conclusion to be drawn from that. Unless they were so concerned about the safety of their players that they weren't prepared to continue anyway. But one has to feel the suspicion that they've made the most of the situation. They felt the aggrieved party in the first meeting between the two teams when they were punished and sent to play in Mendoza.
Well, this is on Mr. Havilange's kind of back door. You know, he's the top man now.
The Brazilian, well, it's a very difficult situation to resolve. And what a pity it's had to end in this way. It was a game we were all looking forward to for obvious reasons, that we were hoping to see the Brazilians turn on the star, and they were given a very keen contest by Chile, no two ways about that, but Brazil were in front, they were heading for the finals, and then this happens.
Well, that is the shame of it, really. I mean, you don't want these things to happen, and there's always idiots in the crowd that will make these things happen. But the game in general was a good game. It was a good game of football to watch. There were one or two incidents that the referee was right on top of. I mean, it really was a super game.
I wonder how the chap or lady is feeling who threw the firecracker.
Yes.
Has caused this quite incredible scene in the Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro.
And no one knows whoever threw the firework, whether he was a Brazilian or even a Chilean who just come to watch the game.
Well, the answers to that and many questions will be answered in due course. For the moment, that is the decision here, that the game has been abandoned. Some of the crowd beginning to disperse, others just staying around, I think in disbelief. So much jubilation that they believe their team were heading for the finals. And now the whole situation remains in doubt. Well, the next World Cup football you can see, hopefully anyway, Ecuador against Colombia. That's on Saturday the 9th of September, 2100 BST, 2200 in Europe. And Bolivia against Uruguay. Uruguay the favourites to go on from that group. That's on the 10th, Sunday, 10th of September. And the live game on the same day, Peru against Bolivia. Two teams contesting a place with Uruguay. 21-25, you can see that one, BST, 22-25 in Europe. Well, a controversial night, and one day it'll all be resolved. For the moment, that's all we can tell you from the Maracana. We'll leave you with a goal scored by Brazil that, for the moment anyway, doesn't count, I'm afraid. From Peter Brackley and Don Howe, good night for now.
Good night.